And I will also go through what's happened after last time Eiffel Summit from 2023. Yeah, until today we started using it in production in Ericsson. And I will go through some more details of what's the difference between Eiffel Intelligence and Eiffel Collector, and more information about the Eiffel Collector work. And then I will do practical demo, and then I will disappear back to my computer. You don't need to type it. But you should watch this screen. Anyway. And then end with some Q&A. Yeah. Let's jump into pages. Yeah, Eiffel Collector. This is a copy paste from documentation page at Ericsson, because we need to have something to scale in. But it is a set of microservices where, it consumes Eiffel elements from message bus and based on some subscriptions details where you define what event you want to trigger on and which upstream event you want to collect, and do some event conditions on. And if all condition is fulfilled, you do a notification to the CS system or who any service that want this information. And the use case we have in Ericsson is the CS system and trigger pipelines, of course, depending what kind of event flow it is. The Eiffel Intelligence, a little bit complex. The subscription is using GMAP for expressing which Eiffel events you want to, Eiffel event aggregation you want to condition on and match. And in EC, we use the more common JSON path, so it's just think of JSON and the Eiffel protocol, how the Eiffel event look like, and write a JSON path into the Eiffel event and match with some value. It's very much easier. And in Eiffel Intelligence, everything has a fixed rules, which event items extract from each event that I consume, and it's doing also upstream search and collect upstream events. But you have rules that says exactly what event data in each event to extract and put together an aggregate object and store it in a database. And it supports also to extract downstream events as well, one level. So we have got one event and upstream event like that. It wait also for another confidence level to be consumed and then merged into an existing aggregate object. But if you have a lot of events, it will be a lot of load on this database. And the use case we have in Ericsson, we don't really need this downstream aggregating. We can skip this database, and Eiffel Collector, it consumes the trigger event, the start event that you want to upstream from, collect it, match it with subscription event conditions and notification. And no, it doesn't write or store anything in the database. It's doing that on the fly. In Eiffel Intelligence, it's hard to know what's going on if something fails. If no notification happens, you never know what's going on. So in EC, we store all the event processing phases into another service that's called log service. And there you can take the start event that you want to trigger on, query log service, and then you get the whole log for each page to see where it's going wrong in event processing. We'll demo that later. I presented this last year. Then I started to implement some code in one service. Today, I continue to develop it a little bit on my spare time at work until end of August, beginning of September. So then I had implemented like 5-6 services, and you can run it everything in Docker or deploy it in Kubernetes. And since end of November, it was a lot of discussion and presented in different architecture board at Ericsson, get it approved. And then it was finally approved to use it in Ericsson, and then we continue development product development. So add in auto system test and test everything and improve the connection handle to the RabbitMQ, so it never goes down. So if it's something connection problem, it's all connection start consuming events against a lot of things, that kind of movements. And currently during this week we are doing a release with this CI framework we have in Ericsson, where we have some of the CI users at Ericsson are using, and they will switch to EC now after this release. That will be probably released on Friday or Monday. I have some picture. So now we'll try to set a picture showing how it works. In the top, you have never tone from sources created, sources submitted. Then you have some pipeline steps with activity triggered, and in the end, you maybe have built an artifact of some source code, released it to an artifact factory, and then you send an artifact created or to publish as 11. So if you want to trigger on artifact created, then you have a trigger event condition in this subscription to the system. And the Eiffel domain in Ericsson is a network of Eiffel components. And there you have always the message bus, which is represented to. And Eiffel ER is an internal Ericsson product. That is the service that it stores all events that are published in message bus. And when you want to know all historical events or who those events have happened, you query that and ask, you do an upstream search via that, and then you get back, from artifact created event back to all the way to SSE evidence you can get and collect it. So Eiffel collector is this middle box. So it's the event processor that doing the work of consuming events. The subscription service is the service where you add and remove or update your subscriptions into the system and it's stored in the database. And then process read the subscriptions from the database for every event to consume, and then go through try to match which subscription are listening for this type of artifact create event with this, which need to be put in this event trigger event conditions. And if that if all event conditions are matched or fulfilled, then it do notification to CS system, which could be, we have a CF framework that are executing all in Ericsson, which we list on this notifications. But it could be GitHub CEO or anything else. It has an OTP post request with information which event it was triggered from, and all the events that it was collected. We have log service. There you can go to and check, what's happened with why didn't my notification executed, or something got stuck in the event processing. Then you go in and check where it gets stuck. I will show it at demo. And the lab service was something I created later, maybe in October, November, where you can go to and test your event conditions. When you see it matching your example of 8 elements, then you can copy paste that event condition into the subscriptions. So you can test it before adding subscription into the system. That was an anonymization service. That one I created for if you want to add more binding keys, broken keys, which it's adding to this message bus where you have to create a queue. And it's a first filter that you can give on queue, which event you want to have to the queue, and from the queue we consume into the event processor. I think that's all from here. Some diffs between Eiffel Intelligence solution and Eiffel Collector. Eiffel Intelligence, it consumes all events more or less that has bindings or filter for in the queue. Everything that is in queue, it consumes event. It asks the Eiffel event repository for getting all upstream events. And it's doing it on fixed rules. So if you want to do an upstream search or aggregate in another way than it's doing, then you need to have another EA instance within your rules that do this. And yeah, after it upstream, it aggregated out data and stored it in database. And then it can come more events that matches this aggregated data. Then it's up looking up the aggregated data in database and update the aggregated with the downstream events. But the subscription you have in similar way in a collector, after it has been aggregated, on the aggregated object is doing these event conditions on it. And if it's matched, we do an application CA system. So it continues to do a lot of event processing, even though you don't have a subscription for it. On Eiffel collector solutions, you consumes all the events. Yeah, but we do the first filtering already on the consumer event. So we have which trigger event you want to trigger on in subscription, also an event condition for that trigger events. So those need to be fulfilled before we go on and do an upstream search. So we do a lot of filtering out before, yeah, pausing load on Eiffel event repository. And we have also options to, I don't want to have upstream data, I will just trigger on the event. Then you can skip that section in the subscription and just take the trigger event. If it fulfills all trigger event conditions, then you go directly to the execute notification to CA system. This picture was the same picture showed last year, so it was a copy paste. Yeah, some more tips. Eiffel Intelligence is open source. Eiffel Collector is a new product implemented in Ericsson, so it's an internal product still. Yeah, as I mentioned, aggregate data and store things in database. And you can aggregate, I think it's one level of downstream events. If you don't have any database to store anything, so it's just consume the event, do upstream search, put together a collected event list, and it's just normal Eiffel events for the Eiffel protocol. It's not a new data structure, JSON data structure. It's just, if you know the Eiffel protocol, then you can do event condition correctly. And that is put together execute notification inform the CA system that this happened. Yeah, as I said, EI has a fixed rules. For instance, if you want to trigger on other Eiffel events, you need to clean up the new Eiffel intelligence, create new rules for that, and it's aggregating according to those new rules and put together those events. So yeah, so if you have many different event flow use cases, and you have many EI instances. Yeah, and EC has a log service there where user can go easy and check what happened, why didn't I get the notification. In EI, don't have that support today. Yeah, so here's another picture, similar to earlier, but with more details. You have the subscription to rights. So in the top, you have trigger conditions, and there is specified which event type you want to trigger on. And you can also do another filtering. I mean, you have a filter, binary filter on the queue. That's perfect, but you can also filter on more details on it. And that is the routing key filter you have in the subscription. And yeah, so I mean, in Ericsson, there's a lot of suffixes in the domain ID part of the routing key, and that you can filter on here when it's consumed into the event processor. Yeah, and it can also contains also the event content. So yeah, the subscriptions, input, GVLX, subscription service, and yeah, what's input to system from the user perspective is the subscription, where you define which event type and application you want to trigger and start an event processing on. You can also define binary key fields, it's optional. And you can optional define upstream and upstream search with event conditions. You can also just have upstream search without conditions if you just match on trigger events and you want always have an upstream search get upstream events and skip event conditions, but often you want to do some matching against the data you get from upstream search. Yeah, and the notification, you can either do a notification post request or you can also use mail if you want to have a mail with the events. Yeah, the notification contains a trigger calls event ID and the collected Eiffel events. We are currently looking to add more things into this information, so we will also add so it contains also a list of which event ID each event condition match. So we use that notation to know which event ID that condition matched, which specific event it matched. Let's see. Something more? Yeah, two more pictures I have. Yeah. Yeah, can I save there? Picture about it with more details. And here's the connection models we use. So this system is in general pictures, not of no service improvement, but it's in general how it works. CS system have some notation receiver, which you receive the notation, and have some API subscription generator service, which generates subscription uploads to the collector system. And yeah, and this start activity can be Python, Jenkins, or Argo, or whatever you want. That's where you contact some Eiffel sender service that publish event via the random generate publish service, which publish on the message bus, and events are consumed to event processor. So here's all the connection with event collector system. So it's yeah, and we administrate the message bus with administrator service. And the binding keys and things that is done on the runtime, so don't need to restart anything. Yeah, any questions so far? Before the demo?
The notifications.
Yeah.
Maybe this is more if not the collector topic, but let me try. Notification, what can it be announcement as well, or is it just a
announcement like a mail or uploading some information web page or
no event announcement like we need this CI to be triggered?
That's question of internal, I think, as well here sometime with Eiffel intelligence. And I mean, we can add more types of notification. Now we have HTTP and POST. We could add some random notification maybe if we want to elaborate and do request to remit the publish events. But yeah. It's technically possible, and we ask if it should be implemented or not here, but it's possible. I would say you can send an event here and then. It's just it should be request to generate and publish when it's published. So
okay, thanks.
Yeah.